We don't sell any commercial sodas or anything. And so people come in, well, I want a rum and cola. And I was like, well, we don't have rum and we don't have cola.
We have ice.
I have ice.
It's gonna be cold.
And I can make it. How about a house-made kombucha with mezcal? What's that? Just, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it. And then they order a second one or a third one, and you start.
Yeah.
But it's people are so accustomed to having everything all the time.
And they're accustomed to the industrial flavor. It happens to me a lot. It's just like, for example, we do our own ketchup, our own mustard.
Yeah, the ketchup
So it's just like,
it's weird.
yeah, this ketchup
doesn't
is weird.
taste like.
So what do you mean? It's just like 100% tomatoes, no? It's just like, it's just cooked and maybe some vinegar and that's it, no? You like season it. And people just like get used to
This is not good.
industrial ketchup,
Flavors,
no?
Like the ketchup, you know? Like, I think a lot of people, I don't think ever know, they're just thinking it's born like that. It grows somewhere in the Heinz in the bottle, you know? Like, oh, wow, here it is. It's, you know, like, here it is, you know? They don't even know what's in there, you know? Like, oh, it's tomato vinegar?
I've lived and worked all over the world. In 2012, we opened Deckman's in Emogor in Valle de Guadalupe on the grounds of an organic farm and vineyard with the goal to be as close to a sustainable 0-kilometer restaurant as possible. And I think I finally found my home. I came here because of the incredible ingredients that come from both the Sea of Cortez and the Pacific Ocean. We have beautiful produce, cheeses, meats, olive oils, all within mere miles from the restaurant. For me, it really is a chef's paradise. After I became a Mexican citizen, it was important for me to travel the country and meet like-minded chefs, ranchers, producers, fishermen, artisans, who shared my commitment to responsible and sustainable farming and fishing. Join me as we explore and deep dive into the magical landscape of Mexico and discover its rich culinary tapestry. The state of Yucatan, on the Yucatan Peninsula, home to the ancient Mayan civilization, is undoubtedly one of the most unique, mysterious, and fascinating places I have visited in Mexico. Surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea with its crystal clear waters and stunning coral reefs. Its beaches are spectacular. Its ruins breathtaking. Its culture awe-inspiring. Its cuisine extraordinary and complex. The food here is heavily influenced by the traditions and ingredients of the Mayan civilization, along with Spanish, Caribbean, and Middle Eastern influences. The modernization of traditional Maya dishes is a fascinating trend that showcases the creativity and innovation of the chefs blending old and new. The food here celebrates the diversity, history, and ingredients of the state of Yucatan. Two hours northwest of Cancun lies Merida. The culturally diverse capital city of Yucatan is a combination of Mayan heritage, Spanish, and colonial architecture and influences. It has become a culinary hotspot, attracting chefs from all over the world. Before I start exploring, I want to sit down with my friend, Chef Jeremiah Tower, who's been credited as being one of the pioneers of California cuisine and the farm-to-table movement that began to emerge in the early 1980s. He's been living in Merida for the last 10 years, and I'm interested to understand why he has called this place his home. Your standards are very high, and you have taught high standards to, would you be willing to say, at least 2 generations of cooks?
Absolutely.
For you to say, this is world class, and then make the decision to move to a place because of food, that's beautiful.
What Mexico has done for the world in terms of ingredients, does everyone know about chocolate and tomatoes and chilies? All came from here. And half the world, what they're eating, they should be saying, thank you, Mexico.
Think about Italian food without tomatoes.
Oh, that's
Right?
what I mean.
Think about Italian food without polenta.
Absolutely. I went to the market in Mexico and thought, wow, this is as good as Barcelona or Paris or anywhere.
In the same way, what we understand as Mexican food today,
Yeah.
so much of it, what we know today has only been here since 500 years. It all came on boats. Bananas, cilantros from someplace else,
Yeah.
all the citrus, pork, beef, anything dairy.
Right.
All of that came, flour tortillas, well, the wheat
Right.
came on a boat.
Yeah.
It's definitely an exchange, but I think there's some really key ingredients, like you mentioned, that are world-changing.
Well, think how that happened. What was here when the Spaniards arrived? Then that marriage of everything you just talked about. And now you've got the world influencing Mexico and Mexico the world. Mexico now has a lot more chance to become, I think it's already fabulous world class, but the world doesn't know it. But what's been happening the last few years in Mexico with the chefs, the food is actually spectacular. For me, a great chef is the one who finds the most perfect ingredients, quality ingredients, knows how to keep them, because that is where it can all go bad. And then to cook them simply. So it's not about me. What is it you're cooking? Are you cooking, a fabulous fish from Ensenada that was just caught that morning and you know how to treat it? And then present the fish so that it is the star for me. And I think that's happening in Mexico.
The tendency is towards simple. More food, less show, less flash.
As Oscar Wilde said, simplicity is the last refuge of the complex. There's nothing more complicated than simplicity.
One of my favorite dishes to prepare and eat is octopus. When in season, it's always on my menu at Deckman's. We source our octopus from Valle Los Angeles, which is part of the Sea of Cortez in the eastern part of the Baja Peninsula. Today I'm headed with 2 chef friends, Luis Ronson and Vidal Elias, to Progreso, a vibrant port town on the Gulf of Mexico known for its fresh seafood and white sandy beaches. We are meeting marine biologist Karim Mena and his son of Cayman Products, a local seafood distribution company, to do a dive and learn more about this coveted species. So, Karim, where have you taken us today? This is absolutely beautiful out here.
Well, this is the north side of the Yucatan Peninsula. We are in the fisherman community named Chuburná.
Okay.
And all this land is 380 kilometers, is the land of the Octopus Maya. And this is very important for the economy. We have 16,000 fishermen living about
16,000.
16,000
Wow, that's a lot.
people, plus his families working with this fishery.
So tell me what we're looking for down on the bottom.
We are looking for seahorse living in the caves.
Great. Well, I can't wait. Let's get in the water. Mexico is the third largest octopus producer in the world. The octopus is legally fished from August 1st to December 15th. This protects the females in the months when spawning is at its peak. Most octopi release thousands of small fertilized eggs from which larvae sprout and float for weeks. The Maya octopus is different. The female generates 1,500 to 2,000 large eggs that she shelters, fertilizes, and guards while they incubate. During this time, she does not eat, nor does she leave the cave. When the Mayan octopus babies are born, they are fully developed without going through a larva stage. It's estimated that for every female that is caught during the closures, 800 juvenile octopi are left without the possibility of life. Thank you. Thanks for taking me down. There's no such thing as a bad dive, in my opinion.
Here in the Yucatan Peninsula, it's very unique, you know, because we are next to Chicxulub, which is where the meteorite crashed and killed the dinosaurs. So it compressed the soil in a very unique way. So we have different mineral concentrations, different nutrients. So all the plants, everything, it's unique to here. The octopus we see, that's the Octopus Maya. You can just find that in here.
So, how do octopuses mate?
Okay, it's very simple. When
I mean, they go to a movie, they go to dinner.
octopus feel something about her, you know, they speak slowly.
Like octopus Tinder.
Yeah. No, not Tinder, not Tinder. No, I can't. Okay, the males, the octopus produce the sperma in a little bags, and the third arm has a modification, name it gonadopodius. And she came with the female, and just stay here. Like this. No, but don't feel bad.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
We're not going to reproduce.
Yes,
I'm guessing.
and put the bags with this sperm, you know. After that, the female look a cave, come there, clean everything, and when she's ready, they put the eggs, and they use the sperm that the male put before inside of his body.
So the female is actually manually fertilizing the eggs.
Almost
Wow.
something like this, and put the eggs in the cave like a grapes,
Like
you
the
know.
vine, yeah.
Okay.
And they close the egg. When you are diving, you can see the cave and only see the eyes of the female looking outside.
And how does it take to turn from egg to like proper octopi?
They put the eggs and spend a couple months before born and grow along the year until next season. Okay.
Yes, the lifespan is very short. It's a year to a year and a half. So they are born, they develop, and they reproduce in sometimes in
1 year.
in less than a year.
Yeah, less than a
Just
year.
A little bit over a year. Yeah.
All
It's
his
very-
life is the maximum life is 18 months, but all his life is an average in 1 year. The babies that born this year is the catching for the next season.
Yes.
And the survivors are reproducing for the next season, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so the female dies after
Yes.
laying the eggs and the eggs hatch.
Exactly.
And the male then continues
The male continues
to be male.
and until he die or some fisherman
Or
catch.
we make a ceviche.
We've been even a separate state or country or entity for a longer period than we've been in Mexico.
Okay.
So we didn't have the proper conquest that Mexico had with the Spanish people, with the Spanish monarchy. The Spanish monarchy.
Capitaneria, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was the Capitanía General de Yucatan.
Yeah.
So it was occupied or they established in here, not conquering, about 50 to 60 years after conquering Mexico, but they came in a very peaceful way. So the Mayan culture and the Spanish culture, they grew together. So they never get the Mayan culture out of, they didn't vanish the Mayan culture. And in the Mayan culture, we had, in our beliefs, a lot of gods. It was polytheist, and most of them were in nature, like in the sun, in the plants, in the ocean. So they all their catching or growing or living ways and fishing techniques, everything is very respectful with nature and with the environment, because it's like religion for us, for them. The way they do it in here, it's a very ancient Mayan technique, and it's very important how they do it. They would use a bait like this. It's an empty crab. It's reusable, so there's no waste in there, so you can use it again and again. And this would go attached to a bamboo branch, and the bamboo branches will go off the boat. And then, since it's very shallow, we cannot use the engine for the boat. We have to move with the wind,
Okay.
because that way you won't make sound that would
Alert
scare
the octopus, sure.
the octopus. The wind will move the boat, and the movement of the boat will simulate the
crab moving.
the crab
Okay.
moving, so
Okay.
the octopus will think it's alive.
Yeah.
You're only catching the males that have reproduced already
Incredible.
and are like ready to eat or ready to be caught.
Wow.
And then the population continue to increase and
everybody fish like that in here?
In Yucatan, yes, they do. We've been able to keep doing this over the years and over the decades, because it's very respectful and friendly with the species, with the environment, with the octopi population in general, because it lets them keep reproducing, keep growing at their own rate. It's urgent, I think, to create awareness on this kind of sustainable fishing.
What's going on, brother? Thanks for having me in your kitchen, man.
My pleasure, man.
So we've had a couple of cool days this week. We're learning about the octopus,
Exactly.
and we're gonna do a dish with that same Mayan octopus. A lot of my favorite cooking method,
With
which
fire.
is fire.
Curious enough, when we started the restaurant, we thought our wine list is gonna be like a lot of whites, but we didn't take in count the smoke. When we start making dishes,
Okay.
the smoke asked for red wine.
sure.
So it was very curious that we have almost 70% of our sales are red wines. We're gonna do the octopus.
All right.
Okay, so now we have the Octopus Maya. This one is the one that we are using. What I love about this octopus is that normally the common octopus has longer legs and shorter head. This one has shorter legs, bigger head. But the fact that the legs are shorter, that means that the meat on it has a little bit more of a bite. So the texture of it is much beautiful, and it has even like a steaky bite whenever you got it. So that's the part that I actually love about this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this guajillo sauce. So this one, what we do is whenever we cook the octopus, all the collagen that comes from the octopus, we take it and we use it to make this paste. We have garlic, we have guajillo chili that has a very smoky flavor, and the octopus flavor by itself because of the jus. We mix it and that's it. It's as simple as that. And from here we go to the grill. Okay. So now we go to this grill. It's called Vesuvio. It's actually a Mexican brand, very good one. It goes really, really hot. It goes around 550 Celsius, that's around 900 Fahrenheit, so it's very, very hot. So I really like this oven because it's a charcoal oven, so we have the mix of the charcoal, of the smokiness of the wood fire.
The octopus is your #1 seller,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I like by far. So we have avocado puree, just a little bit. We have the camote. I love the burnt part of it. Some people don't like it, but I think that's beautiful flavor to have. This is a miso sauce
Okay.
that we make from corn.
Uh-huh.
So it's a corn miso and fermented garlic
Okay.
with honey.
Are you adding koji to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And with honey, local honey,
Okay.
fermented with garlic.
Got it.
Then just the octopus in here. And that's about it.
Okay, perfect.
That's it.
Well, let's eat it.
You got it.
Great recipes, man.
Thank you, man. At the end, food doesn't have to be very complicated to be good. I think completely the contrary.
Yeah.
It's like simple, very good
Less
ingredients,
is more.
very good quality, just and make it with soul, you know? It has to nourish the body, but it has to nourish the soul. So I'm gonna give you this plate in here, like that, and you're gonna serve me just a little bit. The thing is, in here you have to put a little bit of the octopus in every bite. You have to have a little bit of octopus, a little bit of the sweet potato, a little bit of the avocado, and a little bit of the fresh.
Oh, God, it's gorgeous. It just falls apart.
That, like it?
It's so tender, man. My mouth just watered. It's like, wow.
But what I like, it's tender but sticky. It has
It
texture.
still has texture. It doesn't. It's not pasty.
You can cut it with a fork. You know, you can go like that, and it goes.
Wow. Well, that's great, Chip. Now, cheers to you, brother. Nice job. One of my best friends in the kitchen world here in Mexico is Luis Ronson. The friendship goes way past just friendship. I think there's a mutual respect, and he never ceases to surprise me. The food here is heavily influenced by the traditions and ingredients of the Mayan civilization. His ability to innovate through the use of traditional ingredients and modern techniques creates a very unique dining experience.
Hello. Hey.
brother.
How you doing?
¿Cómo estás, man? Welcome to my kitchen.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
So I'm excited to cook with you today, man. What do you have planned?
So we have, we're gonna make some dishes like with traditional techniques and traditional ingredients. We're gonna make the milpa salad. You remember it?
Oh yeah, I had that when I was here. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's the whole. We talk about the milpa everywhere we've been so far, and it's interesting. If you put it, the word milpa, in Wikipedia, it says it was developed in the Mayan civilization,
But it's incredible how they mix these 4 ingredients.
and one aids the other one,
Right.
and the corn is used as the patron for, or the tutor, I think is the word, for the bean stalks going up.
So that's why I wanted to do like this dish homage for
Cool.
for the milpa. No. So we're gonna use tomatoes.
Okay.
So we're gonna roast them And the other main ingredient on the milpa is corn, which you already have there.
And this is a salt from Celestun,
Yeah, so I'm gonna put a little bit of the salt on the pan.
but it also, you don't have to season each tomato because now you've,
One by one.
the salt's there and
Right. Yeah, so I like doing it this way, no? So I always tell the guys here in the kitchen that like treat the tomato like if it was in a steak, no?
Okay.
So we can sear, actually what we're doing is searing it. So all the juices
so the juices stay in the tomato.
Yeah, here we're gonna use the pumpkin seed powder, no? Okay, so I think we're done with
Those
it.
look ready.
Yeah. We're ready for plating the milpa salad.
Okay, perfect.
We're gonna use these radishes.
All right.
Would you help me and just like slice them?
You slice them like half moons?
Yeah, please, like very thin. And also the roasted baby corn.
How do you want me to cut the corn?
So, well, for the salad, we make this like kind of almond cheese. So we're gonna put the roasted tomatoes,
All right.
which is still like warm. Roasted ishim. Then we're gonna put a little bit of the radishes, just like that. The herbs that we had on the garden, and
Okay.
remember the Ishpelon bean.
Oh, right.
So we make a recado negro vinaigrette. So we have
got
to
it.
do the recado negro, then just mix it with a little bit of lime juice, salt, olive oil, and just season it.
Okay.
The Ishpelon bean. So we're gonna put a little bit of the beans, which is gonna be give like a lot of acidity to
And when
the
you
dish.
cook the beans, what are you putting in it?
Just water,
Just water,
salt, and cilantro.
cilantro.
Yeah, and that's it. And onion.
Amazing.
We are heading to Shim's Mayan kitchen to learn how to prepare one of my favorite dishes and one of the most famous dishes from Yucatan, Cocinitia Pibil, a slow-roasted pork dish with a citrusy achiote marinade, then cooked in an earth oven called a pib.
Please, the more I get to know you and the more I cook with you and get to hang out, one thing I really note or really enjoy about your kitchen is your use of very traditional ingredients, your respect for them, but then you also apply them in a way that is modern.
Yeah.
Like the pressed pig that we had in the lechon. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but pressing it, cooling it. I know that you use sometimes a circulator, and just the way that you execute it. How important? I mean, you're not from the Yucatan. You grew up in Mexico City, right? But you've become part of the Yucatan. I've watched you and listened to you talk.
Yeah.
It's in your heart. It's in your palate for sure.
I mean, I live here, no? So I need to, in order to live in, I think you need to understand the way the people will live.
So I think that's why we get along so well, because we have, in that sense, we have a very similar philosophy.
Yeah.
I'm not here to rescue. I'm not here to put Mexico City's mark on Yucatan. I see myself that way in the Baja. I know you see yourself that way here.
Yeah.
As a vehicle, I learn every day. Right? I didn't grow up in Baja California. You didn't grow up in Yucatan.
Yeah.
But it's become part of your soul. It's become part of your hands.
Yeah.
And it's definitely become part of your palate.
Vamos a preparar lo que es el recado para la cochinita.
Okay.
Que esto es el achiote, porque es en granitos.
Ujú.
Eso vamos a moler con los ingredientes de orégano,
Oregano.
el ajo tostado. Vamos a comenzar a molerlo.
Empezamos a moler el achiote.
El achiote, después que lo muela, le voy a ir poniendo los ingredientes.
Ok. So you can see this is like big effort.
Yeah. And the smell
Yeah.
coming off of the metate.
You know, doing things on the metate instead of the blender. I think it gives a lot of flavor because of the stone, no? So every time you grind it,
Sure, you're getting some of the stone.
you're getting
as well.
some of the
Yeah.
stone. It has, you know, some hidden flavors in there, no? We got the recado rojo, we got the sour orange juice, so we're just gonna mix it. That's a recado,
That's
then we
the
just
base.
pour it on the...
That goes on the pork.
On the pork, and then just bury it. This is the pip. We just buried yesterday the Cocinitia Pibil.
Okay, so
No?
that went in last night.
Yeah, that was last
Alright.
night, so it's been there for almost more than 12 hours now.
Perfect.
Well, we're just gonna uncover it, please.
Vamos a ver. All right, so this is a really traditional Mayan way of cooking.
Right. We are opening now Cocinitia Pibil, which is pork, no? And
This is the puerco pelón.
cerdo pelón,
Cerdo
right.
pelón.
I see like the Cocinitia Pibil is like a colonial dish, no? It's not like Mayan.
Well, anything with pork, right?
Right, exactly.
So
Colonial.
really the only thing that's
Yucatecan.
Mayan is the achiote, probably.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, totally.
the naranja agria is from Persa, and
Right.
all the spices are from all over
Yeah,
the
from
world.
all over the world. We put the wood, light it up,
Okay.
no? And then just, as you can see, we use rocks.
Well, so you're heating the rock, so it's
Right.
actually cooking with the warmth of the rock
Right.
as opposed to the
Yeah,
fire.
with the remaining heat that keep the rocks.
Okay,
no?
so when the rocks are glowing red,
Right. Then
You
you just
put
put
it
the
in
metal
there.
box.
and cover it.
Right. And cover it in some branches, like
Okay.
from some local trees, Jabin and Roble.
Okay.
So that's gonna give it a lot
and
of
there's
aroma.
more flavor as well.
Right, exactly.
And it's obviously not hot enough to catch the leaves and everything on fire. So
Because we cover it with a metal sheet, no?
Right.
And then just with soil, so it.
so there's no oxygen.
There's no oxygen. and
we
there's-
break a
there's
leg
no
of
fire.
of the fire.
Right, exactly. So
All right. So
let's open it.
this
No?
smells incredible. Oh, those juices.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All that's sour orange juice
Oh, okay.
and wild fat. No?
Oh man, that smells incredible.
Just banana leaves. You know the red thing is coming from the achiote,
Achiote.
spices, and
So
because
this was the whole animal, right?
this is
I
the
see
whole
legs,
animal,
I see this is the back.
right?
These are the front shoulders.
Yeah, so we put
And-
everything. You know, the head gives a lot of
Perfect.
flavor
Oh,
as
for
well.
Sure. That's
So
the best taco, huh?
we're gonna have the
I-
best taco.
Are you gonna do that to me?
Ever.
You're gonna make me have the best taco ever?
Yeah. Freshest Cocinitia Pibil taco in the world.
I like
You like-
shoulder.
yeah.
Shoulder. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you need to, dip it a little bit so you can have like all the juices.
Perfect.
You ready? Cheers.
Here.
What do you think?
Truly amazing. And so you and I are gonna eat all of that?
Can you handle it?
We can give it a go. Your name has been associated with sort of the return to the earth, return to the farm, return to the reliance on the farm.
The market, as we see it, I mean, the commercial farming of almost anywhere in the world now is not sustainable. Everything that's happening on the earth is not sustainable. The oceans are about to go. I read this morning that 1.5 degree we're at it.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be
That was the tipping point.
That
Yeah.
was the difference. It was supposed to be in.
To 2050 or something
Yeah.
like that.
And the example of what sustainability really means was proven in Gloucester, Mass, in Western Australia with fishing. And somebody told me the other day, after the pandemic, that suddenly the fish stocks, after only 2 years, wasn't 20 years, 2 years, it all came back.
It's like the swordfish in South Florida. There was a 3-year moratorium, I think.
Right.
There were no swordfish in the southeast United States.
Right.
3-year moratorium, and all of a sudden, there's swordfish.
Solution, again, I'll mention, lies in the fishing, where they proved that if you regulate the fishing, cut it in half, the visits by the fishing boats. You cut the catch in half by a daily catch in half. Eat one, throw one back.
If the fishermen are only catching half of the fish, the market's going to adjust in price. People are going to continue to eat fish, so their income may not even change.
Right. And that's fish. I have to believe that that's translatable to everything else in food production.
Today I'm heading to the northern coast of Yucatan to a small coastal fishing village on the Gulf of Mexico called Celestun. Both Vidal and Luis purchased fish for their restaurants from a local sustainable fishing co-op called Costa Fish, a group dedicated to traditional fishing techniques such as hand lines, nets, and traps. These artisanal techniques protect marine ecosystems and eliminate unnecessary bycatch.
Buenos días.
Gracias por recibirnos.
Y bienvenidos. Bienvenidos al crucero del amor.
¿A quién estaba?
Vámonos, de aquí.
Dale,
Vámonos. Vamos a las jaivas, vamos a las jaivas.
So, Vidal, how often do you come here?
At least once a month, we come to look for our fish and soft-shell crab that we can find in here.
Yeah, almost like once a month as well, but just for relax and eating, no?
Yeah.
You know, you can find the most amazing stone crabs in here.
Okay.
So
Stone crabs?
Stone
Yes.
crab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Soft-shell crab as well.
Sure.
No?
But the beauty is to eat with fishermen. It's gonna be the best meal you have.
¿Hay pesca de escama aquí en el río, Luis?
Sí hay. Corvina, la mojarrita negra, robalo.
Robado, claro.
Robalo. Está muy sobreexplotado el río. Ya somos muchos. Entonces, como está baja el agua, pescan en el canto de la canal. En la parte baja de la canal pescan, ¿no? Porque cuando hay bastante agua que te llega hasta la cintura, pues se suben allá a los bajos. Pero ahorita como está seco allá, pues tiene que buscar la parte honda para poder trabajar.
Luis, how many other co-ops are here, like Costa Fish, that are fishing sustainably?
I don't know, maybe like 3?
Yeah.
Not too much.
Here, the mero, the grouper, it's like the fish in Yucatan. But they start making like, I think that it's only 5 years ago that they actually make the la veda, the restriction like really tough. And they are starting to respect the season.
Hay pescadores en el agua.
Yeah, they are completely on the water.
Puro camaronero.
Ella está caminando con
Sí,
la
está
red
caminando,
atrás.
sí. Está.
Making the commitment to fish and crab responsibly totally affects the number of fish and crabs he can catch each day, which ultimately affects his bottom line. But as he told me, he wouldn't do it any other way. Don Luis said that a few years back, he was catching 4 to 5 buckets full of crabs. Today, we only caught 3 crabs total. The trawling of big boats is depleting the river and almost making it impossible for the local fishermen to survive. I'm really impressed with the amount of care and respect Don Luis has for his craft. This is no easy feat.
La carnada hay que conservarla salada. Primero para que no se pudra, para que no le entre gusano. Porque la jaiba lo que come se le queda en el estómago. Y si la jaiba come el pescado podrido, alguna jaiba tiene que tener el olor a podrido.
Porque la calidad de carnada entonces es muy importante para la calidad de la jaiba.
Sí.
Porque
sí.
mismo en la trampa están comiendo la carnada que pusiste mientras que regresas. Entonces, si está podrido el pescado, pues obviamente...
Sí, sí. Se descansa un día y de allá para adelante Se trabaja todo el tiempo que sea bueno, porque cuando viene pues a veces arrecia el viento, ya nos vamos. Si seca el río, porque el río se seca completamente, queda seco sin agua, tampoco podemos ir porque no hay agua donde trabajar. Como les digo, pues ya somos muchos en el puerto, ya no es como antes que llevas 4 o 5 cubetas. Ya lo vieron ustedes cuánto tardamos y solo agarramos 3 jaivas. Ya no da el río para mantener a tantísima gente. Hace unos 50 años, todo eso era pura agua honda, o sea, no se secaba. Como digo, la tecnología avanza, todo avanza, mejoramiento del puerto, pero sí se destruye lo demás. Así que esa es la prosperidad del puerto, que ya nos invadió la gente.
It wasn't until recently that restaurants started to source locally, as almost all of the fish caught in Yucatan was being exported, and the restaurateurs were importing from other areas, which really didn't make much sense. 2 young entrepreneurial college students saw a need in Merida for restaurants to have access to local sustainable fresh fish, rather than importing. Miguel Castul and Lester Mena created the co-op to support their community of local fishermen and families and have convinced many chefs to source locally. We're heading to see how local fishermen use the traditional method of handline fishing and with a hookah line and spear.
They make a man-made reef by collecting debris and branches, creating a reef-like setting to attract fish. The small boat drops a seine net around this artificial reef area, encircling the fishing zone. This is done quickly to entrap the fish on this artificial reef. The fishermen then dive with a hookah line and only catch what is allowed during the season. In essence, they're hand-picking their catch of the day, which eliminates bycatch.
Lunch today is all things crab. Soft-shell crabs, crab salad, steamed crab legs. Luis Vidal and I are giving Don Luis a hand in the kitchen. And of course, Don Luis is giving us a few pointers.
Lleno. Dientitos, ¿no?
Sí, con los dientes bien picaditos.
Gracias, te tengo más aquí.
Creo que lo vamos a llevar allá, que se fríe con el aire, ¿no? Tú sabes que la leña es fuerte.
Sí.
Entonces con el agua hirviendo, salga
Pero
todo.
todos mis 3 restaurantes son puro leña.
¿Está hirviendo ahí? A veces los vientos viene la que parece, está como el azúcar. Así de fina, blanca.
What a day, man.
It was fun, right?
Jeez, I got underwater, which is a good thing. That's always a good day for me. What an amazing place that is to everybody associated with Costa Fish, and I feel honored to met Don Ballena, no? And to be in his house, and he didn't yell at me when I was cooking something, so that was good.
Good. And it was fun.
As I go around Mexico and I talk to different fishermen and we talk to different farmers, and it's the same story everywhere we go. The Rio used to have all these fish, and the Rio used to have lots of shrimp, and the Rio used to have oysters, and the Rio used to be deep, and the water used to be clear, and now it's not. And he started naming reasons why it's not. We're talking to the guys on the boat, and it's the same thing. He goes, even 10 years ago, we could come out and fill the boat up, and now we got to try really hard to find enough fish to. Sometimes they don't even get a pound.
Yeah, 400 grams, he said, no? So he's like worried, no?
Good thing is that
these kind of companies, kind of like Costa Fish and everything, where they came to the community and said, okay, let's work on make it sustainable. Let's start thinking at last on doing a good way of fishing, not over exploding. What we start to do in the restaurant is that we stop putting the name of the fish. We just put catch of the day. And we actually start working in catch of the day with Miguel. He told me, okay, today I have robalo, today I have canane, today I have...
whatever you get from the sea.
And people in the restaurant get mad. They said, why do you have robalo? Because it's not robalo season. So it has been a work with customers to tell them that we're trying to preserve a little bit of the ocean life. But it has been a little bit difficult. But I think that now people are starting to be a little bit more conscious and asking if it's sustainable. And it's like very neat.
I still see chefs put Dorado on their menu. Yeah. And that's not a species that's permitted to be commercialized in Mexico, but really famous chefs still do it.
Yeah, the thing is that there's no really someone regulating, and that has been a very big issue. But there's not actually a coastal police. There's not enough, or if it is,
there is, but they don't have enough vigilance.
They don't
there's
have
not enough vessels.
Exactly.
There's not.
So it's becoming a big issue.
It has to do with government. It has to do with the chefs, with the restaurants.
Yeah, of course.
With the clients.
In this case, it's only us, or only the private initiative that starts saying, okay, stop it. Man, at the end, I want my kids try fish. You know, I want my kids to enjoy what we enjoy today.
I'm glad there are guys like you out there that are fighting the good fight and trying to practice conservation. Oye, don Bañera.
Balleno.
Complimentos, ¿eh? Wow.
¿Qué?
Muy bueno. ¿Necesitas trabajo?
Está bien rico.
Pues, gentlemen, let's toast with a crab. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Here's to Celestun and Costa Fish.
Thank you.
I'm here in the yellow town of Izamal to meet Miriam Azgora. She's been running her Mayan restaurant here for over 30 years. She grew up in the house that is now the restaurant. It's been her goal to preserve Mayan heritage and educate customers through the restaurant's menu.
Qué gusto estar aquí.
Bienvenido.
No, gracias. Pues vamos a la cocina, ¿no?
We just want to show how the people live in Yucatan. Okay. How the people eat, how the people cook, how is our life.
Some of the ingredients that have entered into Yucatan food are not endemic to the peninsula. However, the cooking methods have still stayed Maya.
Thanks for receiving us today in Quinish. So what are we going to prepare today? This is all very beautiful.
We will make the papazul. I will show you the pepita de papazul. It's a pumpkin seeds from this
From
pumpkin.
the calabaza local.
From the calabaza local. Small seeds.
Just ground
Just
and that's
ground,
it.
and that's it.
It's not toasted. This has a little bit of salt and that's it.
Just a little bit.
This is like the best peanut butter I've ever had
Yes.
in my life.
We will make a tea
From epazote.
from the epazote and the pepita. That's all. Is the flavor of the papazul. 30 years ago, all that you see is the way that we were working. The way of doing the things is the same.
Okay.
Since our grandmoms, all people from Yucatan know the papazul like this. Eggs, pasta de papazul, and salsa de tomate.
And that's done.
That's
how
all.
most
That's
people
all.
would eat it.
Yes.
But you have an uncle.
I have an uncle since 20 or 25 years ago. He came and asked me, I want the papazul, but with the longaniza de Valladolid inside.
Okay.
The people, when see the dish, ask, I want one, I want one. And now is the traditional Quinish papazul.
Okay. I understand your uncle. I like it. Do people criticize you for putting...
At the beginning, yes.
At the beginning, yes, until they saw you building a bigger house, and then they said, hey, maybe she's got an idea there.
I wanted to have some deep conversations with Gonzalo Samaranch, a former journalist who started a tropical regenerative agriculture project called Mestiza de Indias. His farm is part of a movement turning to ancient cultivation methods and equitable labor practices to retreat the earth and provide local people with good and healthy food.
There's so many terms that really have lost their meaning. Sustainable doesn't have a meaning anymore, I don't think. Natural, I don't think ever did. Farm to table, does that still have a meaning? It's abused a lot.
Farm to table, for me, it's like there's a short distance between the producer and where it's consumed. No?
Right.
And there's
shorten the distance between the farm and the fork.
And a concept that I love in Spanish, I don't know in English, but it's trazabilidad. No? I mean,
sure, traceability.
Traceability. No, I'm sure 80 or 90% of the restaurants, if you ask them where these tomatoes that you are eating come from, they don't know. So you don't know if it's healthy. One, you don't know if it's if the farmer is treating well and paying well the workers. And I feel like gastronomy or this industry is more about show business than health, social, ecology, and it should be, like this way. No, I mean.
Well,
and we are stars Michelin, and this show business, no, a little bit.
I don't think it's a little bit. I think it's a lot, and I think there's a lot of greenwashing. I think there's a lot of people who understand the power of the regenerative ag movement, that understand the power of the sustainability movement, and instead of actually becoming part of the movement, they're just using the words and putting on their menu. And hey, look, we're sustainable, but they're not telling you why or how.
And there's scientific evidence that most of the illness that we all have are related to food. I mean, so...
Don't get me started.
So, I mean, all the chefs, I mean, they have a very important role in people's health in a way, I mean,
absolutely. And as a chef or as a restaurant owner, you're making a choice where you're sourcing the ingredients that you're going to sell. But I think also as a comensal, as a diner, I think you have a responsibility to educate where you're going.
Completely.
And consume in responsible places, because you can also choose, and you go to a restaurant, hey, where'd this fish come from? I don't know. Well, you should probably know.
It's about conscious, It's about that people, take conscious about this and take a responsibility, I mean, as a citizen, as a business owner, and because it's our health. It's about our health.
I always like to talk about concentric circles.
Exactly.
As the movement grows, so do the number of plantations that are being planted like yours.
And the good thing is that we have one of the most amazing markets in America. I mean, I don't think there's another place where there's this amount of hotels and restaurants in the world. I mean, just in file like this, I mean, from Cancun to Bacalar, I think there's thousands of restaurants,
Yeah, for sure.
And they buy everything from Mexico City that comes with trailers, And we are the example that we can grow food here, and we can help all these communities, like showing them and teaching them how to grow food.
I've invited local chefs and some of the producers we have met over the past week to share ingredients, cook, and enjoy a meal together. Chefs have a voice, and it's important that we share ideas, concerns, and solutions amongst our industry to have some kind of positive impact.
I would make the argument that 100% sustainable is almost impossible in the modern kitchen.
Yeah.
Right, but we need to start somewhere, you know, and going to 100%, obviously impossible today, you know, maybe with due time, and it will be an ongoing project. But it's not talking only to your local producer, your fisherman, and this is also talking to the client. You know, it has to come from there as well. So,
yeah, but I think if you're doing it, you're going to find that the clients that want to know more are going to ask you.
Yes.
But it's your decision as a chef or a restaurant owner.
Yes.
This is my ethic. This is the road that I'm going to follow. Whether you communicate it or not doesn't affect what your actions are.
No, absolutely.
But through education,
Right.
we can maybe have more people follow those kind of sustainability ethics.
In my case in particular, we try to buy everything that we can local. Some things have to be, you know, imported or substituted. And so right now, you know, what we're trying to do is use the most things we can locally and keep that in season. But I you know, it's a work in process.
Some restaurants can do it, some restaurants can't.
It doesn't matter the velocity that you move forward. You just have to move forward.
Said the big chain restaurants, you know, to me sometimes it's ridiculous that, you know, the fish that I'm eating, a big chain restaurant is coming from the other side. Yeah, why when we have the exact same play here, you know, and you could benefit a family, you know, and sometimes I think the start with anything, you know, in life, I think the beginning is always the hardest. So once the ball starts moving a little bit more, you know, we can all, you know, but it is, as Roberto, I mean, it's a lot of work.
You, as a team together, have a buying power that could move the market. You know, I think more and more chefs and restaurants are sounding boards, soapboxes for movements, ideas, important issues. We have the ability to share our voice and use it for the right reason. Where are we going, Roberto? What's the future for us?
I think it's about people. It's about getting together and do something, move forward. For me, people is the future, of course.
Pues amigos, bienvenidos a la mesa. Este mueble representa mucho en muchos aspectos y nuestra habilidad de compartir hoy la mesa con usted es algo para mí que se va muy profundo en la alma, en el corazón. Ha sido una semana increíble, gracias por todo el apoyo de cada persona que está aquí sentado. Buen provecho y gracias por recibirnos. Salud. Salud.